it's important to note in South Africa that especially when it comes to alcohol, the influence of the alcohol industry in this country is very, very strong, to the point where they are actually able to influence governmental policy. I mean, people who are watching might recall that some years ago there was talk and debate around a ban in alcohol advertising, which has been shown to be effective elsewhere in other countries around the world. And this was sort of spearheaded by the Minister of Health, and you may have heard about it a couple of years ago and have probably heard nothing about it since then. And the reality is that under pressure from the industry, the South African government, to the best of my knowledge, has reneged and backed off on this ban on alcohol advertising, and in fact has opted and elected for an additional sales levy on the tax of alcohol. The idea being that if you price alcohol higher, people are less likely to drink. On one hand, that is true. But on the other hand, if you don't have a fixed minimum pricing for alcohol, if I'm selling alcohol and you're selling alcohol, I can undercut you in competition to get people to come and buy my alcohol instead. And if we look to a country like the United Kingdom, that has actually done some very, very good things when it comes to alcohol policy. And they are a country with a very, very severe alcohol use problem as well, similar to South Africa. They have instituted a ban on alcohol advertising. There has been a very, very fixed limit in terms of the density of liquor outlets in a particular setting or in a particular area within the United Kingdom. And there is what we call fixed minimum pricing. So I cannot undercut my competition when I'm selling alcohol. And of course they push the price of alcohol up. So it's through a convergence of all of those initiatives that they've been able to make positive impacts in terms of rates of alcohol use. However, in South Africa, we are very highly influenced by industry. And where certainly the arguments that industry proposes is about job creation. And it's always the excuse made when it comes to changing policy. You see the same thing with the sugar tax, with ban on alcohol advertising, with regulation of the tobacco industry. The argument from industry is always jobs, 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 jobs. But I would say that perhaps by improving the treatment landscape and by helping people use less substances, their capacity to find employment is going to be better, and it might even create opportunities of employment for them. So we mustn't be hoodwinked by the industry. The same also applies to the gambling industry in South Africa, where in 1994, at the turn of democracy, essentially all forms of gambling in South Africa were prohibited, and then there was a change in legislation which then made gambling legal. And in this space of over 22 years, a relatively short period of 22 years, we've seen a huge blossoming and growth of casinos and gambling settings in the gambling industry. And the thing that is most shocking and disturbing for me is when one looks at the geographical locations of these casinos. And for sure, in Cape Town and in Durban and Johannesburg, there's big casinos. But when one looks at areas of rural Limpopo, one sees a high density of casinos in an area where people are very, very, very impoverished. And it makes me very, very suspicious around the influence of industry and how it can actually affect patients and how it may lead to them developing addictive disorders in the first place.